coming in real calm, too.
Welcome to another episode of Brain Candy Podcast. I am Susie Meister.
You're on the air.
Yeah.
and I'm Sarah Rice.
And this is episode 484. It's a palindrome. Enjoy it. How are you? How are you, Sarah?
That was lovely. Well, now I'm great. That was like exactly what I needed to like chill me out. Who knew?
We should have done doobies again. Why not?
Oh, well, truth be told, I may have in between.
So I'm the one that's sober.
Breakity break.
Oh, good
today.
for you.
This is the first time in a long time, but
I wonder what it'll be like.
I have to pay attention. So this is why it's your episode. So
it's weird how I don't know the difference.
You get to
like, I wouldn't be able to tell when you're high or not.
If you saw me right now, you would.
Yeah, but not in tone or
that's good.
demeanor. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. Well, yeah, you could definitely. Yeah, but it's also been like a half an hour or 45 minutes. Half hour.
Oh, really?
Or so. So that's like.
You're like coming
less.
down. Okay.
Yeah, and I took it easy. We're not like going hard to the hoop over here at, right before I got to work.
Well, that's true.
If you can call this work.
Right.
It's more play.
It's a good job if you can get it.
Yeah, and it feels like my day off when, it's like I got no clients. I just get to do the live Q&A.
Well,
it's like fun.
It's funny because I got a text from Matt Neroni the other day, my friend, and he was catching up on Brain Candy, and so he was just hearing about my distaste for Christmas wrapping, that song you love.
Yeah?
And he was defending you.
Yay! Because truth be told, that's still my favorite, let's be real.
Truth be told.
I bought the Johnny Mathis vinyl album.
Yeah.
A Christmas album.
Yeah.
But I still like Christmas wrapping. Man.
God.
What'd he say?
Well, he was just like, Suze, I gotta say, I don't know how I feel about this because it's actually a really good song and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look.
Is Matt Neroni my new best friend?
I know. Well, he was pointing out that I don't like niche musical genres. Like, I really just like pop. And that's more in the punk tradition and more of an indie type of alternative thing.
It's like Blondie.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that.
And so I'm trying to like explain, like, I don't really care. I'm not really worked up about it. I'm like, it's a show. I don't know. It's a living. It's just like the weirdest job ever. Like when you said, like, is this even working? Not really.
But it is because, I feel like I put time in. We study, we research, we look at like.
But the recording part.
There's like fact. I mean, come on.
The recording part is not really.
But I feel like anybody who does that kind of like, that's right. You got to love what you do.
I mean, most people don't though, right?
If you, I don't know.
I hope
think
they do.
People who are younger do.
Yeah, because they kind of insist on it.
Yeah. Ren and I were just having that conversation the other day. He was like talking about really loving being challenged in his job and I was talking about like enjoying it when there's clients are dealing with difficult difficult stuff. I mean, everything is difficult really, but it's like some people say, "Oh no, I'm so like even with therapists, I'm so worried that like, oh my gosh, I just have so much stuff going on. I don't even want to burden my therapist all this." We're like, "Hell no, that's our fate. That's like we live for that shit." That's like, give it to me. Tell me everything. Why do you think I got this job? Well, and like, people want to be.
I was reading this. Well, it was that Anne Helen Peterson book about millennial burnout. It was called Can't Even. And it talks about how millennials were taught their whole life, like, do what you love and you'll never work a day. But then, like, companies use that as a way to make us basically work constantly. So you got to be careful, too.
Because I do work. I mean, I do.
That's the thing.
I'm available
and
all the time.
Yeah, we're constantly, there's no like boundaries, delineation between work and play for people. So anyway.
Yeah. And like, let's face it, this is like, I don't know, sometimes am I giving the therapy or am I getting the therapy on here?
A little bit.
More getting it. Definitely, this is not Sarah the therapist hat right now.
But the question about musical taste actually leads into my first topic, which was one of our brainiacs sent this article that was about what your taste in music says about your personality.
Oh, yes. Give it to me.
So thank you to Grant, the brainiac, who sent it to me. Okay, so it just was a study that was done to see if there was any kind of way that you could, between, let's say you love this kind of music or who are you likely to be? So it started
This is perfect to come out right after the Spotify wrap up.
Oh, that's true. People love that, don't they? Like, do you get excited about it?
Suze, I was like looking for where I could like save a penny here and there because, times are tough. And I was like, oh, I'm going to like drop down to like, maybe like I'm not listening to Spotify that much. I'm not driving.
Right.
When I found out that I lose the option to like have like playlists like that and it just plays songs random, I was like, nope, I'm in it. I'll pay the extra $5.99 a month just for the, wrap up at the end of the year.
You're kidding me.
I'm into it. I don't know if that's available with the
So
the
you're telling me
one,
the wrap up comes with the premium levels?
Well, because of the premium levels, I feel like this is they are not a sponsor. No. But if they would like to sponsor me, I am super into it. You can also listen to us on Spotify. Right. If you aren't listening to us right now, thank you. God, they're going to love this shit. I'll tag them. See, now you can tell I'm stoned.
I forgot. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it said under there that I think it plays songs like on shuffle. Like you can't, I don't think you can really, I
thought it was just ads versus no ads.
No, I think there's other stuff too.
Oh, fuck that.
That you can get because like I wasn't willing to take the risk.
Yeah. Right. Okay, well, let me give you a few categories and just give you some of the insights. So, pop lovers, which I happen to be, are said to be hardworking, have high self-esteem. They are not very creative, and they are more uneasy, and they are extroverted and honest. Why?
I just think that's really funny that they got so specific with those.
I know. Well, I know.
I am so excited for what's going to come next.
Okay, so the next category is rap. And it said high self-esteem and outgoing. Those were the only two it named.
Well, I think I have pretty high self-esteem. I do.
Yeah.
But realistic.
You are also outgoing.
I am definitely outgoing.
And I think they wanted to highlight how it doesn't match the stereotype because people sometimes think rap is angry or, the negative crap.
That is a
racist stereotype.
Like we could, yes. Yeah. And there's, oh my God, what is the movie called? I'm going to remember what it's called, but there's a great movie that talks about, it's called like, man, I'm going to remember, but it's something about like boys or like man, I can't remember. I'll think of it. But it talks about that and how it was, white men, right, who were at the heads of these record companies who put out records and albums with a very specific look of,
oh my God,
it's like the 90s, like DMX.
The branding,
and yes.
Wow.
It was all that. And it was like, you think like 50 Cent, who's like wearing like the bulletproof vest on his, it's all, now I'm talking like them. And now I'm talking like them.
It's intentional.
Like Ja Rule does. Yes, so it's totally, and those are the ones, when there's so much more to the hip-hop music world. There's so much good stuff, so much conscious rap that's like not promoted, like, Mos Def and Common and like really good stuff. The Roots, like those do not make it to the mainstream in the same way. And like really, it's like been a whole thing.
Another Brainiac recommended that I watch the Netflix History of Swearing series, which is great.
I can't wait for that to come out.
It's out.
Is it out
yeah,
yet?
It's out. I started
because
it
who
last
hosted
night.
it? It's funny. Nicolas Cage.
Cage, yeah.
Yes.
And part of the one on Fuck was saying it brought in the context of whenever Tipper Gore got Congress to add the parental advisory to all the explicit.
Yes. Oh my
albums,
God.
and how it was
That
this,
ruined
like,
my Christmas one year and made it so I couldn't get the Puff Daddy, because that's what he was called at that time, album that I wanted. Ugh. Wow. I'm still mad about that. Okay, continue.
They just
Sorry, I
that
cut
they
you
were
off.
saying that it's basically racist, and saying that black artists expressing themselves you need to be warned and fearful of. Ugh. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gross.
All of that music.
Right.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. Of course I didn't, because that's like how that is.
Well, yeah, it's like ingrained.
Damn. It is.
Well, I know,
It's
though, you definitely do think about your hair a lot.
So much.
And keeping it curly and healthy and beautiful.
I love it. Ooh, I can't wait for what we're going to talk about.
Function of beauty. Yeah.
So, let me tell you, because I've gone on natural with my curls and with no color.
Yes.
But who knew that your gal over here has very brassy and red undertones? I should have known, because my mom looks like that.
Oh.
And so do I, and I do not like. So now I threw in the purple shampoo.
Right.
And I got my, so now I get like my good proteins and stuff, and like the rice protein for my regular shampoo, and then my hydration and my blonde, like anti-brassiness
right.
from my other one. Mwah.
Yeah, like that's what's
Hair
great.
heaven over here.
You can customize. And so, like, for instance, when I'm in Pittsburgh, my hair is far drier because, the way you're inside all day and the heat and the fire and all that, and just gets brittle and dry. So I can add moisturizing goals to my recipe, and then it comes to me and it's perfect for my hair. Mm-hmm. It's just perfect because they don't have you can choose no fragrance if you want, or
no dyes.
No dye. Yeah, all the stuff that is yucky on your hair, they don't put in there. So it's just really great to keep your hair healthy. And everybody's hair is different, so it's great that you can customize it and personalize it for your own needs. And they have lotions for skin and stuff like that as well. So you can get your beauty routine covered. Never buy off the shelf. Just to be disappointed ever again, go to functionofbeauty.com/braincandy to take your quiz, and you'll save 20% on your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. Go to functionofbeauty.com/braincandy to let them know you heard about it from our show and get 20% off your order. functionofbeauty.com/braincandy. So yeah, that parental advisory thing is kind of what you're talking,
And I looked it up, and the documentary, which I highly, highly recommend, is called Tough Guys, Guise. And it says it focuses attention on the overwhelming but largely overlooked statistical correlation between violent crime and gender in our society, usually over 90% male, and argues that as a result, masculinity should be designed as a public health hazard. Mm-hmm. And it's this great guy named Jackson Katz who came and spoke at my college once. Oh, cool. And he's fantastic.
Where did you watch this film?
In school.
But, can I watch Tough Guys?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You can watch it. Let me see. He's got a TED Talk on violence against women. It's a men's issue.
I'm loving this. I got to see it.
He's fantastic. Where can you find it?
Don't worry.
Find it. We'll find it.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm like, this is now. It's like See, that's
no,
Stony Sarah over here. It's like, oh well, I'll go look for that right now while I'm on a podcast and other people are listening.
Okay.
Sarah, pay attention.
No, you're fine. The next category is heavy metal.
Not a fan.
I am not a fan at all. My husband is, though, so I was interested to see if it would match his personality. It is gentle.
Yes!
Introverted, creative, and has low self-esteem. And sadly, he fits into all of those categories. And he does love heavy metal music. And my brother does too, which totally makes sense. Because then they express themselves through it.
Oh, my God. Well, and this shows that those men maybe feel like that because there isn't a place for them to express that. And if we nurtured that in those men, maybe those feelings of low self-esteem and they need a creative outlet and oh my God, I need to be okay to be gentle.
All these heavy metal guys are secret little teddy bears inside.
Well, and you know what? I'll go ahead and call him out. But my friend Sarah, her husband is this like, they both love heavy metal. And he's like this big dude who's like always like in mosh pits and like so tough looking, covered in tattoos. Gentlest giant.
Sweetie pie.
So kind and nice and sweet and loving and the best.
You know, every person that I thought of that liked heavy metal matched this.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to it. Okay.
That's really funny.
The next category was indie music. And would you like to guess, or do you want me to just reveal?
I think they might be a little... something like kind of pretentious or snooty or like
that's how I feel too.
Think they're kind of like better than like maybe some. Could it be secretly? I think maybe secretly low self-esteem though.
Okay, let's see. Introverted, intellectual, which I think is probably what you're getting at. Creative, less hardworking, less gentle, but you're right, low self-esteem.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I love that they're less gentle. I mean,
it's like the opposite.
Right.
Like indie music, they don't. Maybe that's a little. It's
they need to
kind
be
of whiny
down.
and maybe like represses that, and they need to just like let it out. And those people have like maybe they're explosive.
Yeah, and they need
indie
something
music
to like
lovers be
chill the
explosive?
fuck out.
Yeah.
Okay, next category.
This is so interesting.
Isn't it fun? Dance music. They are. What do you think? I just have a couple things about them.
Okay. I see these people as not being as hardworking. Maybe.
I mean, I would agree with you. It doesn't say, but
it doesn't
outgoing
say.
is one.
Yeah.
And
and then I'm going to try to guess.
Okay.
Let me think.
Okay.
I want to try.
Okay, let me ask
also
you this.
think-
Do you I'll
Yes.
give you a yes or no. Do you think they are tough or tender?
I think that they are tender.
They are tough.
Oh! What do I know?
It says not gentle and assertive. They are assertive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Look, I'm saying okay now. But now that I'm thinking of the very few people who I know that like that.
Right. They fit into it.
Yeah. Also, your son likes that.
Oh, yeah, he totally does. And he is not gentle at all.
Yeah, that's funny. That totally fits for him.
I mean, his soul is, but his life, oh my God, I'm always scared around him. I'm always like,
he's just active.
Yeah,
he's like
keep away from me, please. Scared.
He wants to like set up like plastic Solo cups and knock them down.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot.
There's that.
Now I know why
Yeah.
I'm anxious. I just connected the
Creation
dots
and
on that.
destruction.
Okay,
Yeah.
the next category is classical music. Care to guess?
Oh my gosh. I think these are introverts.
You're right.
I think these people are also maybe not. I think they're not gentle.
Let's see. Introverted, they are at ease with the world around them, which is nice.
Okay.
And they have good self-esteem.
Well, then that's great. Never mind.
That sounds pretty
I was
great.
trying that's like the you know what? I should have known that because plants perform best to that.
Good point.
And
Makes
at
them
ease.
comfortable.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's interesting.
We need
Ooh.
we need to overlap that study.
Yeah, because I want to know is the causation that I'm at ease and introverted so I like classical, or classical makes me be more like
Correct.
that?
And don't you think that don't you feel like people's appreciation and love for classical music grows the older they get?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Makes
so maybe
sense.
that's being more at ease because you do kind of feel that way. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I'm getting like excited feelings because also what I want to see overlapped are the studies about how plants grow to different kinds of music.
Oh, yeah.
And overlap that with the personalities.
Yes. Because
And
then we
see
might
if there's
see
anything about
directionality.
like because what if it was like the plants grew, because sometimes they maybe grow, like stalks grow longer, but the leaves aren't as full
Yeah,
or something
right.
like that. Maybe those, like, if that lines up with like extra people who are extroverted or something,
And I wonder-
that would be fucking crazy.
Like what if it changed the richness of their color or something too?
Yeah, I want to know all of this. We need somebody to do that study.
Yeah, we'll be waiting.
We're here.
That was found at verywellmind.com. I don't know that site, but that's where it was.
And if I just discovered something, then that's really an argument for smoking pot.
Well, as if we needed one.
As if we needed more. Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, this is like a funny aside, and this is not pot related, but because of this pandemic, Bo has complete, what did they call that? Like, where she's attached.
Oh,
like,
yeah, she's like codependent.
Totally codependent.
Oh my gosh.
She cannot be alone.
That's adorable.
So we leave for, God, what did we do? We left for like no time at all. We went on a hike, and we come back, and Bo has chewed up, she did it to your door.
Mm-hmm.
She did that to ours. Oh my gosh, Susie, I'm so sorry about that. But they gave you like all your deposit back,
we're
so
good.
I felt less bad.
It's okay.
Okay. I was like waiting for you to tell me about that too. I was like, oh no, what is that going to cost me? Take it out of my check. So Bo like chews up the door, and so Ren, was researching stuff. He was for Christmas wanted to get her something, so he was researching like toys or treats for senior dogs.
Aww.
And these treats kept coming up, and they're called, oh my God, their name is so cute, Quiet Moments, which is so cute and adorable. It sounds so old people-y. And they're like these little chews that I think are like melatonin chews. We gave Bo 2 of those, and which was like half the dose. She was like, looked like she was stoned.
Come on.
She didn't care about a thing in the world. That stuff worked. Wow, this is not an ad for them
fantastic.
Either. But if they'd like to sponsor me, and if you have a dog that's anxious or old, like she just is like agitated.
That's
and
nice.
So then we tested it, and we went out to this really cool event called the Electric Mile. That was like this light show drive-through thing that we went to.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures to come, and we were like, okay, let's test him. She was like in the exact same spot when we came back.
Oh my God. That's
and happy
great.
as a clam, and no scratched up door.
She's flying high.
Yeah. So speaking of, benefits of things like that,
well,
and it made me think like, wow, she has never taken anything because she's just eaten kibble. Is this what it's like if you've like never ever done drugs ever, and then you have like coffee for the first time, and you're like, what is this?
Right.
And like, because it was like melatonin, but man, was she out.
That's how I feel after I take my ritual vitamin.
Oh, that's a good thing to have in your daily, and probably, would help the absorption of a whole bunch of good stuff
Right.
with those good vitamins. Yeah.
Well, ritual vitamins, you guys know I've loved them for years and years because they're super gentle on my tummy and they smell good and taste good. But now they have Essential for Kids, so they can take a little gummy and fill in the gaps in their diets if they're ages 4 to 12. And, kids are picky and don't always eat right. So this is so great. They have a natural citrus berry flavor, super yummy, convenient. And then you don't have to worry so much about like, what the heck my kid's eating? We have enough to worry about, whatevs. And when it comes to what goes into our kids' bodies, they've got being picky down to a science. That's why Ritual is offering our listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/braincandy to start Ritual or add Essential for Kids today. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Music concluded. Now, let's talk about, which I promised that we would talk about, Bean Dad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited because I don't even know.
Okay. Well, I love when something ridiculous happens on Twitter, and then I have to, figure out what is everyone talking about. Why is everyone talking about a can of beans? That's what happened to me the other day. And so then I try to find it.
Love your life.
And apparently there's this guy who hosts a podcast with Ken Jennings, who we vilified on the previous episode. And his name is John Roderick.
Thanks for including yourself in that and not throwing me under the bus.
Well, I supported it because I really don't like Ken, and I don't know why, because by all appearances, he seems pretty nice and he's smart.
So does Michael Bublé.
Basically, I should always
calling
remember,
everyone out on the podcast.
If you're a white straight man, you're on our long list of suspects.
Yes, you are. You are highly suspect.
So evidently, John Roderick, he made a thread on Twitter that I you could tell he thought it was going to be very amusing and that he thought people would really love this story that he told about his daughter. I don't know how old she is. Let's say 10. And she came to him and said, I'm really hungry. I want a can of beans. But the beans didn't have one of those pull top openings. So she had to use a can opener. And he realized at that time she had never learned how to use a can opener. And so he was, instead of just saying, oh, okay, let me teach you how to use a can opener for the first time, he just like handed it to her and was like, explore all the parts. All of them have a purpose. You can figure it out on your own. And she was like, fuck this. This is stupid. And she was complaining and stuff. And then he said, well, neither of us are going to eat until you figure out how to open this.
How old is he? How old is she?
I think probably about 10. You know, young, but not too young. But yeah. And it went on.
That's not nurturing and on and on.
Okay, first of all, the thread went on and on and on. And it was like way too detailed. But second of all, the whole thing of her figuring out this can opener took 6 hours. And he admitted that in the thread.
This seems like emotional abuse.
Well, and that's what everyone on Twitter said. And they said it was triggering because that's how their dads were and their dads were abusers.
This hurts my heart.
Really?
Yeah.
Because immediately you get that vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because this is the stuff that he's willing to proudly share.
That's what I felt.
As enforcement.
Like he thought this was a cute story.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, afterwards he was like, 6 hours is the distance between meals. It's not that big of a deal. But she was hungry when the 6 hours began.
Well, and she's working the whole time.
Right. And
that's the threat of I'm going to withhold food from you when you are the child's source of that doesn't feel all right to me.
So everyone started piling on.
I would like to investigate further.
Okay, well, let me give you the full story. So then he writes the thread. Everyone starts saying kind of what you're saying and being like, this is not great and that doesn't make you look good and this is not a fun story. And for a while he defended it. And then it got to be a viral thing. And so then...
I feel like is this fucking fake?
No, it's not fake. But people started saying like...
Or bad, I don't know.
You know, it grew to a point where he realized this is out of control. And then people started looking into his old tweets and found ones that were offensive. And then now he's about to get canceled, all that stuff. He deactivates, he closes down his account. And then since then, he has done an apology on his website where he thoughtfully explains like what happened. He's like, I should have said how much we were laughing during it, how much fun we had, how her mom was there and like had to keep telling us to be quiet because we were being so funny about it. Like, okay.
That's not how he was selling it though.
I know. And so he did apologize and it seemed sincere. And he realized that he had triggered a lot of people with abusive parents and whatever. But Ken Jennings had also come to his defense, which was annoying because this is what white men all do for each other. Like, well, I know him and he's super nice to me. That whole scene is annoying as well. But it was
I hate that argument.
Well, right. And that's what always happens with the, more serious stuff.
It is triggering. That is it.
So basically, Bean Dad started trending, which I think is a hilarious hashtag. But apparently this is like a big deal. And so I don't know what will happen in the end. Probably nothing. But like a lot of people felt really upset about it. And apparently you do too.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's either performative and he thinks that this is rewarded because of other, like, what kind of music does he like?
Right. Dance music.
If he listens to heavy metal, we're good.
John, how do you feel about raves? Yeah, I mean, it's just weird.
You into indie music?
It is weird what like sort of becomes viral which it could have just as easily been a stupid story and nobody cared and that was the end. But for whatever reason, it kind of caught on. People were wound up about Bean Dad. The end.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But, I mean...
And it's like, yeah.
Really, I feel like what they should be wound up about is getting some nice sheets for their bed.
Absolutely. I've been hearing people have been getting this for Christmas. Everybody's like treating themselves like to this for birthdays. I'm all about making your home your sanctuary.
Your haven, yes.
And we spend, what is it?
A third
of our life in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Make that 1/3 lovely.
Yeah. And Brooklinen is the way to do it. They have beautiful bedding and bath towels and such that are...
And robes.
And robes, super high quality, tons of colors and patterns and materials. If you want to make your nest really nice, which so many people are doing because we're spending a lot more time at home, then you should go to Brooklinen and see what they've got cooking. It's 2021. Do something nice for yourself to start the new year. To help you do that, Brooklinen has a special offer. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code BRAINCANDY to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more plus free shipping. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code BRAINCANDY to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more plus free shipping. Brooklinen.com. Use promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. You can get a robe like Sarah has and be comfy cozy. I need one of those.
So nice. Robe life.
Okay. I watched a documentary, and it is absolutely bonkers. This was also a recommendation from a Brainiac, I think.
I've been missing good docs. And
oh, God. This one is on Netflix, and it's called Tread.
Oh, I have not even seen this or heard of it.
Me neither. I had not at all. And
I thought I've explored all of it.
I know. I thought I got to the end of the documentary internet. Yeah. But... this is the story of a man in, I think, a Colorado small town, and he was a welder. And you know how in small towns, there's usually like a family or two that kind of run the show. Mm-hmm. You know, like the mom is the mayor and the dad's like on the board, and they kind of like make all the decisions.
Yeah, I remember America.
Right. Oh, you know how you always joke about how when I laugh really hard, I literally split my side, like it's side splitting, and it hurts. That's what just happened. Ouch. Oh, God. Okay. So he was in one of these little towns, and he felt like an outsider, and he... it was just one of those stupid things where, like, the pipe from your house kind of goes into somebody else's and, like, you don't want to have to pay for it to be repaired. That kind of a petty dispute. But it just grew over time, and he felt like he was being railroaded by these people in the town and that he was being punished, basically, for not being in the cool group. And he wanted to fight it, and so it became this huge legal thing, and he was mad and blah, blah, blah. The point of this documentary is, however, that despite the fact that eventually he sold his property for $400,000, so he could have easily just left and gone somewhere where he felt more comfortable. But he sold the property, sold everything he owned, and gave it all away, and started living in this little warehouse and bought a bulldozer and decided to, like, kit it out. Like, he added cement and all this stuff to make it essentially like a military tank.
I was going to say a tank?
Yeah. And then he welded himself inside of it. So,
what?
Like, there's no opening.
Well, he's cuckoo crazy.
Yeah. But the weird thing is, so up until this point in the story, he's articulate, he's handsome, he has a beautiful...
We're watching all of this in real time?
Let's see.
Or is it like...
It's kind of like, it feels like that, but not... It's not.
Right.
You know why it feels like that? Because he did all these audio cassettes. So he's speaking...
Man, the crazy people do.
I know, you're so right.
Every documentary Ren and I watch, we're always like, how is this a thing? And I'm like, because these people do that. And
you're so right.
You hear about somebody doing that?
Red alert.
Get ready to watch them on Netflix and, start preparing your
because
interview.
The audio was his voice, but then I guess they recreated and used B-roll and stuff like that. And then they interviewed people in the town. And so up until that point, you're rooting for him because it feels like he's the underdog and that he's like being blackballed by these people. But then you're right. He went cuckoo crazy and he welded himself inside and then just busted out of that warehouse with the bulldozer and literally bulldozed the entire town.
Oh!
They couldn't stop him.
Spoiler alert.
Totally. But I mean,
Wow.
it's in like the trailer too. So, I mean,
yeah, no.
But
and it's also called Tread. So
to see it and to see, it's funny because they're trying to stop it.
Okay, well, this is what I'm going to watch tonight.
And like, they can move out of the way. It's slow, but they can't stop him. And so you're like, is he just going to run out of gas eventually? Or so watching to see how this unfolds and how they are calling for the National Guard and
oh my God.
Like, what do you do when someone has a military tank essentially and is just bulldozing every building that they come in contact
clearly
with?
Doesn't care about the repercussions or what's going to come. And it's just like, fuck it, nothing to lose. That's like, what do they say? Nothing's more dangerous than somebody with nothing to lose.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't know if they say that, but if that isn't a quote.
Like, I don't know if they say that after
Sarah.
all. Right. Yeah. Sarah Rice,
my name
2020.
Sarah Rice. 2021.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so here's what I want to know. Like, in your estimation, do you think people like that tend to be well-adjusted and then snap? Or do you think it's like percolating their whole life? Or is it just different for everyone, you think?
I think it's different for everyone.
Okay.
I think it could be, because what do they call that? Oh, my God, there's a name for it. Your phenotype. That's a combination of your genes and your environment.
Oh, right.
So, and I've explained it as it's like if you have a light socket, like a lighting fixture, you can have the wiring for the lighting is one thing. You have the light switch. You have like the bulb being in there. So you kind of need like the perfect storm, and who knows what is
That's
what.
so
But
interesting
you can have like
that you use that metaphor, because when I'm dealing with the criminals that I write to, I always just refer to it as like a recipe, because it's like if you're cooking and you accidentally add too much of something, you know, you can maybe still make a great meal and fix it and adjust. But like if too many things go wrong, or if a certain one thing goes wrong, it could be entirely ruined. And I feel like human beings are kind of like that. Like maybe you have a bad dad, but then
that's a really good metaphor.
You have a great teacher, and it kind of balances out. But whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah.
But like, aside from this grievance, he really had a nice life. He had a successful business. He had a beautiful, age-appropriate girlfriend.
I love that you called it an age-appropriate girlfriend.
It's a good sign, right?
God,
when an older gentleman is like with...
that is a good sign.
You know, like it just seemed like, okay, this guy's likes to travel. He does what he loves. He's very good at welding. What the heck? How could this have ruined everything?
Did he lose? And, well, there could be underlying depression, and then that's triggered by something like this, and then... and especially like what happened with, because I imagine he had a girlfriend, but something happened where his relationship ended.
Yeah,
right?
She started smoking, and then it was a deal breaker.
A what?
A deal. She said she started smoking.
I heard you, but
it caused fights, and then they broke up. But they were still close and like on good terms.
Okay, that is interesting.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sure there's more to the story.
Wasn't a deal breaker for Michelle Obama?
Good point.
I really just use her as my compass.
Right.
Things I'm like, he's working on it, I'm sure, but
I'm
she's
sure
like,
there's more to
I'll
the story, but
that seems like that. I don't know, because because this feels very like nothing to lose, almost suicidal in a way.
Yeah.
going out in a blaze of glory, kind of thing.
Right.
And there is we can't predict who's going to be suicidal, but there are, trigger warning also, but there are, groups that are more susceptible. And one is older men. How old is he?
Oh, gosh, he must have been, I don't know, mid-60s.
Okay. One is men who are, I think it's over the age of 55, who are recently widowed or divorced or so if they lose their job, because identity is so tied for men to their job, and also most of their social connections are, because this is more for, an older generation of men. But if you lose, recently retired men, there's a lot of depression there because they lose the friendships, most of the social connections. That? Yeah. The friends of the family are usually the friends that wives meet, and then they hang out with whoever the husbands are in a more traditional, situation.
To me, this felt like, I don't know if the word emasculated is right, but he felt powerless against people that he felt were corrupt. Yeah.
Hopeless, isolated, I think it's hopeless, isolated and something else. And it's that, kind of like that recipe of.
Somebody in the
So
documentary
I wonder if
said
those were other things going on.
They were like, he spent too much time alone, and that's what made him lose his marbles.
Too much time alone, that isolation, hopelessness, and I can't remember what the other one is. But
if you do watch it, you have to report back and tell me what you...
I will definitely be doing that.
Learn from it.
Yes.
It's a shame whatever happened.
Did you finish watching The Vow?
I didn't even start watching The Vow.
Susie!
Give me time.
Susie.
My God. That was last week.
I know. You're right. For goodness sake.
Stop yelling at me.
It's just, I finished watching it.
Oh, and you want to talk about it.
Well, I just think you have to stick it out for the last 2 episodes because you get to see the videotapes of him when people are really in it. It would be like seeing the level.
Are you serious?
Whatever the highest level. Yes. And it will blow your mind. Ren and I were both, because we were like, oh, okay, it's kind of like dipping down the middle. What are we going to see here? What's going to happen? A lot of buildup. And then, but all good. And then we were both like, oh, worth the wait. Holy fuck. We couldn't believe what we were watching.
Do you feel bad for the members? Or do you just feel like they were complicit? So
I understand their side. Again, it's another recipe.
Yeah.
A recipe. Oh, man. It is. It's like that. I can see people who were searching for answers, certain kinds of people who were very logical, and this spoke to them. They felt like it, and then it's like that, foot in the door, or whatever it is, where I can't remember what the term for it is. You probably know, but when you believe this much, like the lobster or a frog in a boiling pot, you believe this much, and if you stop believing out, means. And so many of the people who were in it at the end were people who felt this intense guilt because they had enlisted so many other people.
Right.
And now they realized it, but those other people were still in there.
Gosh, I feel like that just about if I recommend a movie and someone doesn't like it. Imagine if you got them to join a cult for you.
Oh,
you're
oh my God, do I even know them? Do I know myself? What's wrong with me? Do I even have good taste?
That would be awful, right? Right.
Yeah, and so you could see it, but it's totally worth it. You're going to love it.
Do you think...
Just for those last 2 episodes.
Do you think I'll love it as much as we love Best Fiends?
No.
That's not possible.
Impossible! I love it.
Best Fiends is so fun. It's this great game. It's a mobile puzzle adventure, if you will. And
I'm stuck on one level, though.
What?
And now that you just got me thinking about it, I just haven't dedicated enough time to
get
completing
back on the
it.
horse.
It's just been. I got a podcast to host.
Listen, Sarah.
And now you got me all fired up.
You
about
know
it.
what? You got to get back into the world full of lovable characters, and then you'll be like, okay, I got this.
There's one named Bo. She's my favorite because I have a dog named Bo, and they're spelled the same.
There's a connection. There's tons of levels, and they're always adding more content, so it's just so fun. I play with Lincoln. It's a cute little way to break up your day. You know, if you're feeling stressed, this is a great thing. It's challenging, but it's a good de-stressor, in my opinion. And I think we all need a
shout out to some of our brain
God.
candy brainiacs who are like on level 1,000,000. Steph, she's killing
Stephanie's
it. Like, oh my gosh! Shout out to you. I'm never going to catch up. You're crushing it.
Yeah, you can't put it down. Mobile puzzle game. It's free to download. Tons of great reviews. 100 million downloads. Okay, so here's the scoop. You can download Best Fiends free today on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's Best Friends without the R. Best Fiends. There you go. Have a good time.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Now I want to play.
Moving on. Away from cults. I can't take it.
I'm sorry.
I did watch
Back to
really
bulldozing.
cute. I did watch a really cute short film on the New Yorker website. It's about this toy maker. He's 98 years old now, and he invented 800 toys.
Wait, real person?
Real person. Yeah, I should have said documentary film, yeah. And
I was imagining an animated short.
oh, it could have been. He was so adorable. It felt like that.
Come on, about a 96-year-old toy maker?
You would never know.
I love Pixar too much to not put that as an animated short in my mind.
You would never know he's 98 years old. I mean, he is just, I don't know.
Because he's been playing for so long.
Totally. Like, you know those little wind-up chattering teeth you see all the time? Like,
I sure do.
He invented those.
Oh, what a sense of humor. And that is the metaphor thing.
He's like my new hero.
Susie,
I'm serious.
Tell me everything about him. I want to see this.
Another one he invented was Kerplunk. You know that game? I love that game.
I love Kerplunk.
With the marbles and you
Just
pull
the
the sticks
name.
out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Sarah knows.
And then there was a fun song. Goes Kerplunk. How was the theme song? Oh, the jingle on TV.
Oh my God.
It was a good one. I have to remember.
It's just he embodies what I wish I embodied. Like he's so optimistic, and he talks about that, how he feels like, he goes, I annoyed a lot of people with my optimism, but it's just really how I felt. And he believes that's helped him, be so healthy and active. He's still working. He's in his garage, still inventing.
Wow. Here we go.
Kerplunk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If it goes Kerplunk, you're sunk. That is basically the Christmas wrapping of
You are so right.
the jingles. No wonder I like that.
Toy jingles.
Of toy jingles.
The cutest thing he said was that when he feels like a little bit down, he'll just Google himself and be like, oh, okay, I did some good stuff. Like, I'm happy now. That's such a healthy, self-love.
Well, you have to do some good stuff in the world to make that Google search.
He's like, I
Come
just
back
like to
with
see
what
that
it
I'm
is.
still there and I'm, doing stuff. It's just
He has,
really special.
he makes its meaning.
Yep.
He has meaning, and that is something that I remember. I was in my life cycles and aging class in grad school, and we were talking about, elderly or aging population, and how the difference between like cognitive functioning and like connection and even like self-esteem and almost like attitude and mood, that if you have meaning, like if you can still create meaning or feel like you have a place in the world, then you're like one of those happy old people.
You know what? I'm just putting
And the
this
grumpy
together
ones, the
right
ones who
now,
don't.
but basically
I love that.
he represents, if you put the tread guy and the toy maker next to each other, they're very similar. They're both very good with machines and the way that they can create stuff, but one of them, remained social and optimistic, and one of them fell into the pit of darkness.
Isolated.
And the toy maker talks about that.
Creative.
He lives in a little retirement community, and they all hang out and watch movies together and play games and stuff.
Oh, my. Can I live there?
Right. It looked great. And he was saying how he didn't want to just grow old and be lonely. He wanted to just keep being with people and having a rich life, and he does.
Oh,
Isn't that beautiful?
I love this.
It was like the first time I had smiled in like 3 days.
Story. Well, I'm going to be watching this, and it's a short. Gosh darn it!
It was about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and I was just enamored.
What's it called?
Well, it was on the New Yorker, but I don't think it had a title. But it was like
Good, I have the New Yorker.
toy maker.
Okay, I'll check
I'll
that
find
out.
it.
I'm sure. Got a nice long list after this episode. I love it.
I know. I just love when I find stuff like that. It makes me so happy. And it's just like, I think a lot of people right now are seeking meaning, and it's hard to find. So, like, when you find someone who's getting it right, you kind of want to replicate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch that.
Watch
the
it.
movie Soul.
I was reading separately, change the subject. I was reading about how there's a big demand for tattoo artists to cover up racist tattoos. Did you read about this?
I didn't read about it, but, I've seen tattoo artists who are doing free tattoos to cover up those, and I really like that.
Well, and the one that I saw said that, like, the artist said he used to do it for free and then no questions asked, just happy to do it. But then he said he was afraid that some of them were just removing them so they didn't have any consequences for their true worldview.
I want that. I agree with that.
Yeah, so now he says he makes them explain how they came to see the light and how they've changed.
Very important.
Yeah, and I thought that was really smart because I wouldn't have thought of that. But I'm sure there's a lot of people
I feel like
who just don't
he
want
probably learned that, like you said, the hard way. He got that vibe.
Right. Like they didn't really change. They just don't want anyone to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good little PSA for tattoo artists.
Right.
Who also are doing the same thing. Because I do agree. I totally agree with that. If you're just doing it, and we're just doing it in a different way. It's different symbols.
Because like this one guy that they covered, he had a Confederate flag, and then he realized like not everybody sees it the same way. So maybe 7 years ago, he added to it that said "heritage, not hate," to sort of add an asterisk to it. Like I love it, but it's not because it's racist. But now he said he had to get rid of the whole thing because that wasn't enough. And how hurtful that symbol is for so many people. So he's evolved. Like he can demonstrate, here's what I learned and here's how I changed. And then you can see it over time.
And people can evolve, and they do. I mean, we see that in so many different groups. But it's the desire and the intention.
Before we started recording, Sarah and I were talking about like the political stuff, and I said, like, I'll never forgive people for supporting, like, Trump, basically. And because in that case, it feels like there's no way you could have, like, not noticed.
Right. Yeah,
but I can
that's what Ren
see
says.
how...
At this point, you have to be, deliberately ignorant. It's like you're
willful
choosing
ignorance,
to. Willful ignorance. That's the word I was looking for.
But with, like, the Confederate flag, I think for a lot of people, they didn't know genuinely early on, maybe 20 years ago. It just wasn't talked about as much. It was like implicit.
Yeah. And it was on the cover. It was on, talk about another kind of marketing. That was on the cover of country albums, I'm sure.
Yeah. And like Dukes of Hazzard, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
God, I don't like it that at all.
No, I don't like it.
I'm glad we're changing and evolving, and people are coming around.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that story. What? Oh, can I tell you this? This is great. Did you read about the two influencers who are fighting because both of them named their daughters Baby?
No. Baby?
I love it so much.
What are we doing? How come these people get babies?
That's such a good question. By the way, are you pregnant yet? What's going on?
No.
Okay, keep
I
me
don't
posted.
know.
You're like,
I'm not trying yet, I think.
I think. Okay, well, keep us posted. Well, anyway, these two hookers had babies, and one of them named theirs Baybi.
I hate everything.
And then
is her name Michaela spelled funny
I think
does she
so.
have extra letters?
That rings a bell
in her name.
And then the other one, 3 years later, had a baby, and she just named it Baby with normal spelling. And they were like pissed. First of all, what is your opinion about that? Like proprietary feelings about a name for a child? Like you always want to name your kid something.
There's only so many names. Mm-hmm. Relax.
I agree. But a lot of people are very protective.
If I named my kid Lincoln, that would be a problem.
Would it though?
Oh, you're so sweet.
I mean, I think it would
you
be so flattering.
See it as like, it would be so flattering, and that would be the reason I would do something like that.
Right.
I'm not.
I guess it depends on what you think the person's intention was.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you did it, it'd be like, I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I think who cares?
A lot of people,
the same
Sarah.
name. But then again, I'm saying this as somebody who had 6 other Sarahs in my 5th grade class.
So you just feel like, what's the big deal?
I have 0. I don't even care when but I don't have an attachment to my name in the same way other people do. Like when at Starbucks, when they're like, oh, is that Sarah with an H or without? I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Surprise me. You're not going to pronounce it different, and I'm not going to not know, and the only person holding the cup is me, and I don't care that much. But I also say the same thing when people misgender my dog, and I go, she doesn't mind.
Right. I misgender my cat constantly. Mr. Miyagi is a girl, just so you know,
right.
everyone.
Right.
But a lot of people care, and I guess it happened when people started insisting on having a, quote, unique name, and then they felt like it was theirs and theirs alone.
Stupid.
I don't get it.
But it's never theirs and theirs alone.
Yeah.
There is another Apple, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Right.
And there is another, it's, relax.
I agree. But
they just, I think people, maybe this influencer culture, it's like we can't differentiate between negative and positive attention. Attention is attention. It's the same as with kids.
Mm-hmm. And stop thinking you're so goddamn special anyway.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Right.
That's it. It's the inflated sense of, like, superiority.
Exactly.
Grandiosity and superiority. And, like, your entitlement. What? Shut up.
Nothing's funnier, though, when I just spelled baby, B-A-Y-B-I, and you just, like, died a little inside.
Yeah.
You're like, I hate everything.
Just don't. Because I feel for the child.
Right.
That then has to be like, no, that's B-A-Y-B-I, and like,
Right. That kid's going to need so much
regular
therapy.
name. And it's not like there's anything wrong with it. It's like we just don't. It's the same as like the reason why I don't leave the house, dressed up like in a tutu and, like looking all crazy. Because like I could do that, but it wouldn't be, if you have the choice, it wouldn't be. That chick's going to change her name anyway. I hope that she ends up like, what is it, Alex P. Keaton, and is like, I want to go to an Ivy League school, and you gave me this name. So can we change this?
In 20
How many books are in her house, first of all?
In 20 years, B-A-Y-B-I is going to waltz into Sarah's therapy business and be like, boy, do I have a story for you. First of all, guess what my name is?
And then she's going to say it, and I'm going to be like, can you spell that, please?
And then she will.
And then I'm going to go,
no, you're going to come back to life. You'll be like, I have been waiting for you.
Yes, that's totally true. I will. Just like,
welcome.
Like,
yes,
she's here.
It's like when it's like the pearly gates.
I take out her file that already has her name written on it. With the date of birth, like already halfway filled out. I'm like, just sign here.
That's right. I did some preliminary notes. Oh, God, that's so funny, Sarah.
Oh, God. Oh.
Let's wind it down. Wind it down.
Oh, I'm glad you left me with that little tickle.
That is so funny.
Oh, man, Suze.
You guys should tell us what your musical personality is and if it matched.
Oh, my God, yes.
Let us
and tell
know.
us, like, about your partners and everything like that and the stuff that, like, they don't want to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fuck Bean Dad.
Yeah, I'm not into it. And Ken Jennings.
My friend Cassie was like, you know what made it worse is the fact that it was just beans. Like, even after working 6 hours, you still only got beans.
Like, however, it was her request.
Right, that's true. What's wrong with her?
Question, like, I'm like, yeah.
Right. You were craving beans there?
What kid loves beans?
Not Pythagoras. Okay.
God.
Don't forget to watch Tread on Netflix and the New Yorker toy maker documentary thing.
Yes.
And if you have a racist tattoo,
like, what the heck else? What the heck else did we talk about? Everything in a little nothing, right?
oh my God, that's for sure.
If you have a racist tattoo, just like
Stop being an a-hole.
know the intent. Probably none of our listeners.
You never know. Remember when you saw that guy with the racist? And what was it, a Nazi one? With your friend?
It said white
pride.
He said white power,
Oh
white
yeah,
pride
white
or
power.
something. And I refused to
engage.
Yeah, I was like, get him the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah. The end. And then the fact that other people would actually eat a meal with this person. I'm not friends with those people anymore.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah, good riddance.
Told me everything I need to know.
And don't forget to subscribe and check out our merch. We're always adding new stuff.
Oh, yes, we are. I love it. And yeah, that sweatshirt, I get compliments on that whenever I go out, which is
like once a
rarely.
month.
Yes.
We'll see.
It's like the clerk, the cashier at the grocery store who's like, oh, you're wearing that sweatshirt again. Yes, I am. It's my favorite.
Buzz off. All right, people. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you know that everyone has an aura? Do you know what color your aura is? Maybe you have a fiery red personality or a quiet and calm blue or green. You could be an organized and methodical yellow or an explosive purple. Come join me, Mystic Michaela, on my podcast, Know Your Aura, to find out all about how your personality can be explained in colors.